If you love looking up at the night sky like I do, you are in for a treat. We have a big celestial event coming up, a total lunar eclipse, and an amazing opportunity to check out some serious stargazing gear at this year's Telescope Fest. Joining us today in the studio is Dean Regas, astronomer and all-around space expert, who's going to give us a scoop on what's happening in the sky and how we can all get a closer look. So great to see you, Dean.
Oh, happy to be here.
So this sounds really cool. Telescope Fest. What can people expect when they come out to Alt Park on March 8th?
Yeah, so this is the second time we've done this with the Alt Park Advisory Council, and we set up a bunch of telescopes. So me and somebody set up a whole lot of telescopes, a lot of different types, and so people would come see them, ask questions, get some advice, because it is tough finding the right telescope out there. So you can see a lot of varieties, and then hopefully, let's cross our fingers if the weather cooperates, we'll do some viewing, look at the moon and some of the planets that are up there too.
Yeah, because I know you don't necessarily have to have a telescope to come out, and for someone who might be new and maybe considering one, it could be really overwhelming with all the different choices. So what's your advice for someone who might be looking to buy their first telescope?
Yeah, I think the first telescope you got to get, well, I hate to tell you this, but bigger is better. So the bigger your telescope, the more you can see. But that also means it could be heavier. It also could mean more expensive. So it's hard to say exactly what the best telescope is out there. There's lots of cool varieties. And just for example, I only have 4 right now at my house, so it's hard to pick exactly my favorite one. But yeah, like you said, it's a great time. If you don't have a telescope, come out and shop, or not shop, but you can come out and see what all's out there. And if you do have a telescope, bring it out too, because the more the merrier. We got this great space up there by Alt Park, and so yeah, even more telescopes are great. So bring them if you have them.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about what's going to be happening in the sky. I know the big show is going to be that lunar eclipse happening March 13th and 14th. What makes this special, and what do people need to look out for?
Yeah, we got this total lunar eclipse. This is when the moon turns that eerie shade of orange and red color as it goes into the Earth's shadow. And, you know, we had that amazing solar eclipse last year. This is not quite as good as that. I know people saw that solar, but this is like the chill eclipse. This like takes hours and hours to go and progress from a partial stages to totality. And it's one of those where you can just like kick back and watch the shades of color change on the moon, and it is just really breathtaking to see.
Well, and looking at the images here that you provided, Dean, what's the best way to capture an eclipse on camera, whether you're using a telescope or just a camera?
Yeah, so having a mount is always helpful for this. Your phone will take some decent pictures of it, especially if you have the newer phones. But tripod for the phone is good. Some of the better SLR cameras would do a better job. If you can magnify a little, that helps. You don't need a gigantic telescope for the moon. Even magnifying 10, 15 times is good. So getting pictures are good, but sometimes pictures never do it justice. Seeing it with the eye is just so incredible. And so I think the big thing to note is the timing on this. This is where it gets confusing, because is it on the 13th or is it on the 14th? It's technically on the 14th, but the morning hours of the 14th. So starting 1:09 a.m. on the 14th. So that means stay up late on the 13th or set your alarm on the 14th. I'm not sure which one. I'll probably stay up all night. I'll be too excited. Eclipse Eve, I'm like a kid. It's tough to sleep.
Well, I know aside from the eclipse, there are going to be a lot of other exciting celestial events happening. What do we have on tap in 2025?
Well, I think the big thing right now is the planet parade. That's where we have all these planets up in the sky. It's been a little overhyped because they say, oh, you could see 7 planets, and well, yeah, maybe. But really, it's 3 big ones that are up there. Venus is bright as all can be. That'll be there for the next month or so. Jupiter will be hanging around for a few months, and Mars are up there. So those are 3 planets you can see with the naked eye. The other ones, a little tricky right now. So those are the big things coming up. And we have a partial solar eclipse at the end of March, so March 29th. Problem with that is from Cincinnati, it's almost completely invisible. So you have to be in the Northeast or the Maritimes of Canada to be able to see this. So I don't know. You want to go? I'm heading. I'm heading to Salem, Massachusetts to see it with all the witches. So
nice.
I'll see you guys March 29th in Salem. But so partial solar eclipse. But yeah, the lunar eclipse, absolutely you can't miss it because it's visible from across the country.
Well, we can get familiar with the telescopes and everything, like we said, coming up on the 8th. Dean, it's always great to talk with you, and thanks for being with us today.
Thanks so much, and keep looking up.